Woohoo!
Are we actually recording?
Yes, we are.
It's red. Sorry.
It just took us a few tries.
We clicked. Not recording. Not recording. And now we're live.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
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 Welcome to Two Tangled Skeins.
Hello.
Hi.
That's what I get for being a smartass.
I haven't seen you in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I
and
saw
I just
you.
pulled a stitch out.
We actually
Once.
were able to knit this week.
Yes, Friday.
Once.
And she's like absolutely knitting at lunch. I had errands to run and I went, playing hooky from errands. So,
Yeah.
today we are Saturday, April 22nd, 2017. This is episode 201.
No.
Yeah. Pretty cool, I know.
I'm sorry I missed the cake.
You didn't miss the cake.
Well, I
You
didn't miss the
cake.
You missed the episode.
She
You
got
got the cake.
She got the rest of the cake.
We did. Thank you very much. We really enjoyed it. It was really
Like,
good.
you have a sliver and you're just like...
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, well, I think we're going to have to share this one for sure. It was really good, but I'm sorry I missed the episode.
So I'm Sue, also known as Crafty Knitter 7, and I would like to welcome new and returning viewers.
Hello.
Who was next?
Whoever wants to go next.
Well, I'm Selma. I'm also known as Selma Knits. I almost said Selma 123. Will I ever forget that name?
I don't forget
Probably
it because I
not.
keep trying.
So we're on Twitter, and
We're twits.
on Instagram, with our respective names, and we also have Etsy shops, which will be in the show notes or on our group
They're at
page.
the
It's on the
header
group
for the
page.
group.
If you want to go and see. And you both have stuff in your shops. I do not have anything in my shops.
Slacker.
Do we actually do stuff on Twitter?
It just posts the episode, but we have Twitter followers
Oh my
We do.
goodness.
because I get the notification in the Two Tangled Skeins email group.
Okay.
And you?
I'm Lynn, also known as Toll Baby, and you can find us on Ravelry, Facebook, and YouTube, and we have a blog at twotangledskeins.com, and we're all over the internet, as Selma's already pointed out. And yeah, we're it's been a while.
Yes, well...
Did you miss us?
Last week was Easter.
Last week was
Yes.
Easter, and on the Saturdays when we get paid, that the next Saturday, Sean and I do food shopping, so on those weeks,
Okay,
every
we can
second
do this
week, the podcast will be uploaded a little bit later. So that I'm not running like a mad woman after doing food shopping and setting up and
All that
all
fun
that
stuff.
jazz.
And all that jazz.
I was
Sorry,
wondering
had
if somebody
to.
was going to start singing.
It's usually me.
I was determined it wasn't going to be me.
It's usually me.
So you have a faux.
Well, I don't actually have a faux. I'm wearing a faux.
Have you shown that one ever?
Yeah, I think we've
I
seen
think
that
I
one
have,
before,
yeah.
But you need to
Let's see it
refresh.
again.
You need to refresh.
I love this vest.
It's...
I think you said it was your favorite.
It is my favorite.
My favorite vest or my favorite sweater?
No, your favorite. My favorite vest on you.
Okay.
Yes, vest.
It's actually a design by Sarah Hatton. It was published in this book.
Yes, you're really far over today.
You're sitting in
No,
the
I know. I
middle.
was like, oh no, it's got to go all the way over there. It was published in this book with a series of her patterns and meant to be knit with Rowan Finest yarn, which is a fingering weight yarn. And it's called the Hetty.
Sorry, conversations behind the book.
Wordless conversation behind the book.
There are a lot of beautiful, beautiful patterns in this.
Oh, beautiful.
But this is the original right there.
Could that be made in a lace weight or a lace weight doubled? Because I actually have yarn that's that color.
You do.
But
It's variegated though.
That's such a shock that you have yarn that color.
But I think you could.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I made it using Estelle Sock It To Me. I have no recollection.
Suck it to me.
Suck It To Me. I really like it actually for garment. It's meant to be a sock yarn, as the name of it says. I've used remnants of this as heels and toes in socks. It wears okay, but I actually really like it. Has worn so
Like
nicely.
you can't tell. Like it looks new.
Yeah, it's worn very nicely as a garment.
I think
yarn.
you made it so well it looks store-bought.
I love this. I was actually thinking the other day of making another one. So that
You
might
love it that
happen.
much.
Yeah, I'd have to figure out what kind of color. But it's very nice and really comfortable, and I wear it either, this is sort of a light gray shirt, or I have a white shirt that I wear it with, and I've worn it with skirts, I've worn it with pants, and
Pretty much, it's a staple in your wardrobe.
And I because I was taking this out to bring it, I've looked at other patterns in this book, and there's so many beautiful patterns in this book that
that's beautiful.
it's just full of gorgeous, gorgeous patterns. There's one that is quite sexy in the way they've done it, but I just love it's a dolman sleeve sweater. It's got a little bit of a design along the sides, and there's a beautiful colorwork sweater in here at the back. It's just full of really, really nice patterns, I have to say. I'm really glad I bought this. I was trying to remember where I bought it. I think I bought it at Romney in Toronto.
This is one of the reasons I kind of want to be Selma when I grow up, because she can wear her knits and she looks good.
Thank you.
They look very put together.
I'm trying to think, like when I'm planning on knitting these days, what I'm making it for. I want to make things that I'm, that I can wear.
What you're going to wear it with. And,
yeah, exactly.
Purpose. I never tend to think about stuff like
No.
that. Although I have to admit, a lot of thought went into the cardigan I haven't started yet.
And I can't wait to see that cardigan.
I have to finish that first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Only one super huge project on the needles at a time.
So I wear this on a regular basis. I'd have to say this one and my Lettelopi one, the purple one, they're the two vests that I wear the most. And I bought a Harrisville tweed skirt when I was in Scotland.
Ooh, it's gorgeous.
It's beautiful, and this color is just a little too light for it because there's a turquoise going through it, but it's more like a teal turquoise. And I thought, and there's also purple in the skirt. There's a lot of different colors in it, and I thought I wouldn't mind making a vest just for that skirt.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna be thinking about that.
There's so many colors you could use.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, love this book. And it was a really lovely knit. So
they do tend to have really nice patterns.
Yeah,
they do.
A lot of really classic stuff that doesn't go out of style easily.
Yeah, often they're pieced, but this one actually has a couple of yoked cardigans. That one, which has a bit of a gansy thing. Ooh, sorry, I'm having a hard time with my. There's a bit of a gansy thing happening at the top, and then there's the one on the cover, which is kind of a garter slip stitch pattern, I believe. It's not color work, but the effect is like color work, and that one's really beautiful. I've been thinking about that as well. Romney in. It's on Queen Street West.
Right. I've been told never to go into the basement.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the one with the basement.
Well, I have bought yarn in the basement.
Well, Yarn Diet has totally failed.
We'll get to that a little later in the stash section.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's my FO. That is my FO.
I have a miniature one, and pardon my bending over. I don't want to show you guys everything in my shirt.
I'm using my Belfast mug again, Joe, just so you know.
It stays here.
It does, so I can drink out of it every time.
So I have a mini finish because I wanted to start the yarn that she gave me, and she said I couldn't use it until I finished my square. So this is the barn raising quilt.
Do you remember those minis I had last time? She really coveted that stripy mini.
So this is the barn raising quilt by Shelley Mackey and Larissa Brown, and of course all of my minis most of them are unknown. No idea who this was.
Oh really? That's really unfortunate because I really love the yarn.
Somebody might tell me.
It's sparkly and stripy.
Sparkly and stripy. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, it is. And this is knit on 2.75 millimeters, which is a US 2. Yeah, they each have
I got a little ball.
Yep.
Balls.
Little ball.
Balls.
Yep.
Sorry, I need to watch some more Supernatural.
Oh no.
I'm Team Bobby all the way.
I love Bobby.
I have no idea.
That's okay.
I'm a complete
the tall one
loser
is Sam
when it comes to these things.
Mm-hmm. The tall one is Sam.
Yes.
The short one is
Sam, who is Dean in the other show, is not Dean in this one.
Right, and Dean is the other guy.
Yes.
Yeah, I like the other guy.
Yeah, and I'm more partial to Jared Padalecki than Jensen
It's
Ackles, but I'm definitely Team Bobby.
What kind of show is this? For
it's Supernatural.
Supernatural.
So it's a supernatural.
Yes.
It's about supernatural.
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, sort of.
It would be.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
Among other things.
Okay.
Actually, if I'm really honest, I'm Team Crowley.
Yeah. Crowley is...
Mark Shepard is hot.
Dean is hot.
Well, Dean's not a real person, though.
No, but...
Is he computer generated?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was talking about the actor. She was talking about the character.
Yeah,
I see.
Different character.
Yes.
Anyway, enough
Okay,
about supernatural.
Yeah. So that was the FO section. We're on to whips.
We are.
What you got?
I go first?
Yep.
Okay. So another square.
Ooh, it has begun.
It has begun.
That was the
This is
stripy
just
stuff that
too
I got from
freaking
Jamie.
difficult.
And I'm finding it a little thicker
Yeah.
than a sock weight, which is okay. I'll just...
Stop sooner.
Did I just drop something?
I don't think so.
Okay. So yeah.
There's 4 needles there.
Yeah.
You're good.
DPNs. Usually until I get to a certain point. And
You might have dropped the 5th one into the bag.
I didn't see anything drop. Oh well.
anyway,
I have to find
You'll
it
find
later.
it later
we will.
when you stab yourself with it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what's on my needles. That's one thing.
It's an unknown. She said it was. It's not a Felici. It's probably something like a Croy or a Joanne's or something like that.
Oh, could it be Patton's Croy?
It could be.
Mm-hmm.
And that would explain it being slightly thicker than a regular sock yarn.
Sorry.
But it was just something that she had used to make her daughter's unicorn. Her rainbow unicorn.
Right.
So she wasn't sure what it was.
And the other thing that's still on my needles, because the rows just keep getting longer and longer.
But it's going to be so worth it.
Mm-hmm. It's my Intersection by Kristen Finley.
Dyer
It's the
behind,
Dyer, yes.
behind Skein Yarns in Australia.
So I'm sort of, kind of at a start of a row.
So I have to say, you're going to be finishing your Oceania project.
Yes,
I can't say that word without putting some sort of weird
because I
thing on
can't
it.
start my Europe one.
Yeah, but my Oceania project, which is the Lily Pilly,
Oh, it's
seems
not
to
happening.
be on the shelf. But, so, hey, way to go.
Look how gorgeous that is.
I just love the colors. Ugh. I was actually at Wool Time the other day and I saw the yarn.
I have a full skein of the light gray. Just one. I have a full skein of the dark.
Oh, so you could make yourself something like...
Depends.
It's really rough, so you might not want it as a hat, but maybe fingerless gloves?
Yeah, I'm not sure. So it depends how big this blocks out. And there's about... Sorry.
That much left.
That much is what this part is supposed to be because it's the bottom. But I'm thinking I might be going into the second ball. Because I might want to just make it a lot bigger. So. It's an easy knit. Very easy.
And the yarn
Yarn. The yarn is, where am I? Sandness Garn Tove in the colorways light gray, dark gray, and natural. It's on 3.75 millimeters, which is a US 5. But I'm back and forth right now. And increasing on every second row, so it just keeps getting bigger. And bigger and bigger. This is in a bag that I got from Twisted Daisy Fibers, full of cat hair, my hair, everybody's hair.
And a knitting project, too.
And knitting
We
project.
have cats. All our bags are covered in here.
They are.
Yeah.
So that's
Pretty
number
much.
2. Barn Raising Square Intersection. Okay.
Although my cats, I mean, of course there's cat hair around. Well, you have an interesting story, which you can talk about a little later.
Yes.
But my cats don't go near my knitting. Yoda one day looked at my knitting, and I looked at Yoda, and that was the end of the story.
One of my cats likes minis. The other one had never gone near yarn
Well,
before.
she would play with the minis.
Yeah, mine will
If they
chase
were
minis all
around.
over the damn house.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
make spider webs out of them.
We make tinfoil balls for her, and she will play with them. In fact, I found about 6 of them in the corner behind the piano the other day. Threw them out, and she was having a great time. Anyway, sorry. We digress.
That's okay. The other thing on my needles is the Secret Skein Mystery Cal Shawl by Jillian Harkness.
Cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Why do I know that name?
Mina Loves Designs.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's Mina Loves Designs. And the cool thing about this, I didn't get the yarn that went with it. It was Ellie and Ada yarn, but I didn't get the yarn. I decided to use something of my own. The cool thing about it...
Stash diving.
I know.
There was that guilt over buying stash.
Absolutely.
We know you.
There's a mystery story that goes along with it. So every
This
time
is the one you were telling me
there's a
about.
clue that comes out, and then there's the
With
next
the
part of
cottage
the story.
notebook.
Yes, with Nadia.
Cool. Hello.
So I'm not done the first clue. The second clue came out Friday, but it's just nice to be able to. You're listening to this story, and it's really cool. And she's a very good. What do you call that? A narrator. Mm-hmm. She's very, very good at that.
Now, is it has Nadia written the story, or is it? Mm-hmm. Way to go.
I'm pretty sure it's written by her.
Fun. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm gonna have to start listening to this. Now, are you allowed to show the mystery Knitalong? Is there a spoiler?
Yes, there is. There is a spoiler aspect to this. There is a spoiler thread in the group, in Jillian's group.
So if you're working on this and you haven't got this far yet,
look away. I'm halfway through clue 1. So
this
really,
is not the clue you're looking for.
There's not a lot.
And can people still join?
They can still buy the mystery shawl. Yeah.
And they would go into Mina Loves Design group.
Yep.
Is it also in the Cottage Notebook group?
I think it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Because of the story. So I mean, I don't have a lot done.
Lovely.
But so that's it. It's being knit on my signatures, which are 4mm, which is a US 6, and this yarn is Dream in Colors Smooshy Sock in the Happy Forest colorway.
This is the one you thought that I had given you.
Yeah, I know you gave me one a while back, and I thought it was sock yarn.
I gave this to you.
Yeah, so
I don't know that I gave that to you. I don't think so.
Okay. I think that
some other generous person gave that to you.
Perhaps.
Maybe, I don't know. It's beautiful.
Crystal or Carrier.
And it's
I
enough.
remember you getting it.
It's enough to make this shawl.
Excuse me while I fiddle with this.
And so I just basically asked Jillian, which yarn would you gravitate towards? And she said tonal or solid. So I picked a kind of like...
It's pretty solid.
It is solid. There's just a little bit of tonal in there, but it's not. And this is being held in my ink bags.
I love the fabric.
Yep.
I think it's a cotton linen blend.
It is.
It's just
beautiful. So, you can see what your project is in there.
I have to say, I've been coveting one of those.
This is what I like the most. The bag. The window's great, but it's this.
She's used the edge. She's left the edges there.
And then it just pulls on one side. It's great.
It's really beautiful.
And then last but not least is a cast on from last night. I walked downstairs, threw a whole bunch of yarn on Sean's desk and said, pick. He had Deadpool, Doctor Who, the Gumi sock that we got. I gave him some Felici, and then there was BB-8. Guess what he picked?
BB-8, which is by Mustache Yarns.
Yeah. And it's a Star Wars colorway.
Mm-hmm.
So it was the Mustache Yarn Star Wars Limited Edition, which I love her label. And they're OCD skeins, so they're already split up, which I had a little bit of a heart attack last night because I put the whole thing on my Swift. And then I'm like, oh, hey, cut. Okay, there's too many ends. I started to panic because there was 4 ends.
Yeah.
But that's because there were 2 separate skeins and I had cut those. I almost had a, fit. So this
You'll
is
be okay.
I know.
But the skein is divided so that you can have 2
OCD.
perfectly
exactly the same. Yes.
Same.
Yeah. And
for those of us that are OCD.
I was going to start using the outside of the balls, but that would have had me start with white, and I didn't think white at the end of a toe. Oh, that hurt.
I was going to say, was that your needles or was that a nail?
That was my
It sounded
my
like needles, but it was your elbow.
So, that's that. This is what the skeins look like. Oh my god, they're just...
Andrea, drool.
Beautiful.
BB-8.
The orange and the gray and the cream, like they're all beautiful.
Yeah.
Andrea's BB-8 obsessed.
I know she is.
I have to say.
And it's a 75-25 merino nylon, 440 yards. A stash in good health. So that's it.
That could be a knitter's cheer.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that it was already...
What did you just dump all over your knitting?
I just got some tea splashing out of there.
So that's it. Who's next?
I go next.
You go next. I go next. You go next.
Because Selma talked at the beginning, so she'll get to finish with the whips.
Let me pour that out of the microphone's way so that everybody doesn't have to listen to
Pee break. Yeah.
If you didn't have to go pee before,
You do now.
Just in case you want to know, I'm drinking the Puka vanilla chai, which I just...
So I didn't make a lot of progress because I made progress and then ripped back. And then I made
again?
progress again and then ripped back again.
Oh,
So I put it in the corner. I kept messing up the count. I don't know how, but I kept screwing up somewhere because I was VKNing while I was working on it.
Not a good thing.
And I gotta stop doing that because
That's
I
like
cannot concentrate even
Tanya
on simple
knitting on her
patterns.
shawl, and if you can, you don't put those
Oh,
together.
the shawl is...
Oh,
right there.
sorry. I'm behind.
So, it got a little bit of love. It
Could wrap
grew a
around
couple
all
of
three
inches.
of us.
Pretty much.
So
this
the
is my
beginning.
Find Your Fade, and have you seen her just faded
The
sweater? I know.
I would make that and steek it.
Dre Renee
Steep
Knits
it.
has come out with a new pattern. It's called Just Faded, and
to
it's
turn
a
into a
sweater
cardigan?
based on the Find
So.
Your Fade.
Purple.
So that is the Cyborgs Craft Room, a Sparkle 8 base in Soulless. This is Cattail Knits Brucey Sock Silver in Stunning Suki. This is Lady Pearl Sock in For Amy. Keep going. There. This is...
Oh, you're looking at the camera. I'm not.
No, I'm looking at the shawl, actually. Hang on. I've actually
was
got
Woolen
it written
Vine.
down.
Wasn't it?
No,
Oh, the next
no,
one
this
is Woolen
is
Vine.
Bittersweet Woolery Guilty Pleasures in Harvest King. This is the Woolen Vine.
Right.
Footsie Base in the Beach Bum colorway.
Which is a BFL nylon.
Is it?
That's probably why it's scratchier.
Huh. I did not know that.
Yeah.
She found it a little bit scratchy. So
Well, I found it, I
compared
was
to
knitting
what?
on those two. That's way scratchier, but it's,
Yeah, and it's
not
also more
scratchy
kind
yarn.
of like crisp.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a more crisp yarn.
And then I've got this lovely Knit Picks
Hawthorne,
Hawthorne in the Lads edition, which is apparently a neighborhood in what city did we say last time? Baltimore, maybe? It's a neighborhood in the city somewhere.
Somebody knows. But so, you know, it
Not here, clearly.
literally cover the three of us.
Yeah, and I was ready to start the next color, and I had to rip back because
be
my
like-
count was off.
Jelly rolling this to keep it at bay.
Yeah, well, I usually just stuff it in a bag.
Here you go.
So, that's what that is, and that is being knit on a 3.75 milliliter, milliliter, which is a US 5.
It's a milliliter.
I'll be okay. And that
You know,
lives
2 weeks not podcasting, it's like we lose it.
in my Hawthorne Cottage Crafts bag. Thank you very much, Kate.
I think we're all using your bags on a fairly regular basis.
And I only have one color left, and I really want to get to it because it's Three Irish
I was
Girls
gonna say-
Giving Tree.
That's 3. I knew I recognized that. I gave
Yeah.
that to you?
Yes, you did.
Okay. She's saying,
So-
yes, you did. Regret it. It's like, no. Okay. So you're going to have 2 yarns that I gave you in there.
Yep.
Cool.
And I have 2... Hang on. So I've got the Cyborgs Craft Room is from you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 3.
The Cattail Knits is from you.
Mm-hmm.
The Lady Pearl is from Brandy. The Bittersweet Woolery I bought. The Woolen Vine is from Kristen. The Knit Picks is from Andrea.
So I have 3 colors
you
in
have
there.
3 colors in here. Ha ha ha. And only one of them has green in it.
That's probably why I gave you the other 2 skeins. I don't know.
So, well, they were both sparkly, and you said
I was like,
you didn't want sparkly yarn at the time.
Silly me.
What was the third thing? Oh, right, the test knit. Oh, the test knit.
You didn't show the socks, did you?
Not yet.
Oh, sorry.
Hang on, woman.
She's got an order to the way she's doing things.
I haven't ordered it. I am ashamed of myself because this was a test knit for somebody. Our friend Teresa, who is T. Gale Designs, and I've test knit for before. Well, actually, it doesn't matter which side is the front side because it's a reversible pattern. But this is supposed to be a scarf. It was half a scarf.
Until a cat.
Now, my cat Lynx likes minis. She likes to bat them onto the floor and then chase them around until they're a spider web on the floor. So, my cat George, whom I've had for almost 12 years, has never shown the slightest bit of interest in yarn. None. Doesn't sniff at it. And with the exception of that Noro that I bought that one time. She loved that stuff. She would lick it to death.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. Like, I swear they must have dipped it in tuna juice or something. Because she would sit there with the skein, like, lick it for hours. It was soggy. It was so gross. I don't know.
If it still had a lot of lanolin or anything. Because their yarn is quite rustic, generally.
Yes. Oh, yes. And I didn't like it. So, that yarn went in the garbage. Because, well, George soaked it. This scarf, for some reason, she yanked it off the dining room table, cut the working yarn.
So she chewed at it.
Ran off with it. I found it at the other end of the house. Puked on.
Oh.
Maybe she tried to eat it and it gave her a reflex.
Really, George?
That's for calling me George, she says.
She named after George Sand?
No, she's named because I love her and hug her and squeeze her and call her George.
Okay.
This is why she was named George.
All right.
So anyway, I've had to start all the way over. And it was funny because Teresa was like, so do you have any progress on that scarf? And I didn't want to tell her what the cat had done to the scarf. So I'm like, oh, when was it due? And she goes, last Saturday. And I'm like, boo. So I totally screwed up the deadline for this test knit. And she said that as long as I tried to get it done by the 1st, it was fine.
But I mean, you've test knit the actual pattern.
Well, yeah, because I've got 1.5 repeats here. I need to do a full repeat of the written instructions just to make sure there's no mistakes in there. She's had other people testing it too, so it's not that big a deal. But I feel really bad because I usually am pretty good at keeping on top of test knits, and I actually have a new one that I have to start soon.
I know, I saw that.
It's so cute.
I almost put my name up, and I'm like, no, I'll let Lynn do that too.
Well, my cousin's pregnant.
I know that.
So I have babies to knit for.
Is that a girl or is that a
for
unisex?
babies?
Well, it's the colors I picked are going to be a unisex.
Okay.
I don't care if it's got picot on it. The little boy can wear picot.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, so anyway, this is the Lightning Strikes Twice scarf, and I'll pull it up closer so you can see the pattern. She actually created a stitch for this because she couldn't find any existing stitches to do what she wanted to do. So she created a stitch for this, and it's quite ingenious. It took me a while to figure it out because there was a crucial piece of information missing in the stitch instructions.
Oh.
Which I have since passed along to her, and she has included. But yeah, it took me forever to figure out exactly what I was supposed to do
because it was missing something.
Yeah. Well, I looked at it and I was like, what the heck am I supposed to do with that? And it's because on the off side there was a bit of an instruction missing there. So once I figured it out, I mean, this has been flying. I started this over yesterday.
And that's what test knitting is for, to find those things, right? So,
because my cat's a poo head.
Puke head. You're right.
So anyway, I don't know why she decided that she needed a little hand knit carpet to throw up on, but there we are.
Maybe it's because she was like, Mom, you're knitting with Fenfix.
I think it's because I started taking her water dish away at night. She's mad at me. The reason I took her water dish away is because as soon as I go to bed, like the second I turn my light off, she waits until I turn my light off because I'll lie in bed for like an hour or so reading Facebook and stuff. The second I turn my light off, I hear thud, 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 and she's kicking the water dish across the kitchen, spilling water all over the place. So I started, when I go to bed now, I empty the water dish and I put it on the counter. They're not going to die without water overnight. Mm-hmm. And then when I get up in the morning, I put the water dish back down. Because, damn it, I'm tired of walking through puddles. Nothing quite so disconcerting as waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning and stepping in a puddle of cold water in your kitchen.
Or slipping.
Unfortunately, I don't slip much, but
some cats, not that that's what she's doing, because it sounds like
it's a recent behavior.
It's just a bizarre behavior. But I had a cat that would always move the bowl a little bit to see the water moving.
Yep.
And then drink out of it. It was like he didn't quite trust where the water was or something.
But she's 13 years old and this is recent, so...
Yeah.
Neo has attempted to move the bowl, but not possible because it's literally this round, this tall, and solid glass.
I need to get myself something with either silicone or rubber on the bottom so it can't slide. Because right now
Yeah, we
it's
have
a big
a
Tupperware.
placemat. Yeah.
Big Tupperware container right
It's basically a bowl that used to be part of a convection oven.
Right.
And we weren't using the convection part, so big bowl of water.
Anyway, Lightning Strikes Twice scarf by Teresa Seasons. Sorry, I was about to say Teresa Proper.
Proper on Ravelry.
That's her username on Ravelry. She's proper. So Teresa Seasons, who is T-Gale Designs, and this is done out of, forgive me for this is Fentex worsted. It is Fentex worsted what? Because ombres in the Marrakesh ombre in on size 4mm needles, which is US 6, and these are my Chow Goose, and I love them. Hate the yarn, love the needles. She wanted something highly variegated. This is what I came up with. That's all I had.
I've got Chow Goose too.
I loves me my Chow Goose.
I like Chow Goose too.
Me and my Addies.
That doesn't have a project bag. It's just kind of living in a pocket of my large
It's
bag.
lingering.
And I have one more.
Oh, the cows came out.
Yes, the cows came out.
The cows came out.
The next project is living in my Art by Anna bag, my farm animals. And it is loosely based, because I hadn't actually seen the pattern until Sue handed it to me. That's before we started recording. It's loosely based on the Afterthought Everything socks. I say loosely based because I haven't looked at the pattern and I'm just kind of making it up as I go. So I frogged a shawl 2 weeks ago. My mom and I sat down and frogged this shawl of mine because the pattern and the yarn really did not suit each other, which the designer who I tested it for had told me at the time, and I was like, nah, it'll be fine. It was not fine.
Was it?
Anya.
Oh, she did tell you.
Yeah, she did. And I was like, yeah, it'll be fine. I really wanted to use this yarn.
She hated it from like...
It looked awful. You couldn't see the pattern at all, and poor Anya has never had me test knitting again. So this is, you can see I've got the thing in there for the Afterthought heel. The top yarn is some unknown, I think it's either Regia. It's
It's a
scritchy
great
like,
color. I like it.
it's scritchy like Regia. I had 2 little balls of it from Dara, who was a friend of mine from Knit Night, and I don't know what it is, but it's scritchy.
Oh, it's very
Feels
squishy.
Regia-ish. So it could be Regia, it could be random sock
It's
yarn.
a great color though. I like it.
And this lovely stuff is Juliana's Fiber,
say, yeah.
Lucid Dreams in the Luna colorway.
Perfect for socks.
It is.
But she
So-
had to have that shawl in that yarn.
Yeah.
I still remember.
I have about 3.5 inches to go on the first sock before I put the waist yarn in for the toe.
And those of you who don't know, yeah, she's using her hand to measure.
Well, yeah.
You haven't mentioned that in a while. I think it's awesome.
It's how the yarn harlot taught me to knit, to measure socks. You knit your sock this length from the tip of your what's this one called? Middle finger to the heel of your hand, the bottom of the heel of your hand, and that's a full length leg on a sock. Then, if you're knitting cuff down, from where you turn the heel to the tip of your middle finger is the length of your foot before you start the toe decreases.
And Selma's doing this as she's speaking, and it's true.
And the length of your foot from heel to toe is the length of your arm, from the inside of your elbow to the inside of your wrist.
It's true.
One of the teaching tools that the Yarn Harlot
That's very
uses
cool.
is the Vitruvius Man. Is that what it's called? The Vitruvius Man? That drawing by Leonardo da Vinci.
Oh,
Right. The guy who's in
yeah,
the
the
circle.
Yeah.
circle.
Because the human body is very,
Mathematical.
very, very mathematical and very precisely
Precise.
proportioned. So unless there's, some kind of defect or something, this is going to work.
It doesn't work on my
Well,
husband.
Unless there's some sort of variation, shall we say?
Yes, that's a much better word. Because I couldn't think of the word I was looking for.
My husband has a
So I'm
variation.
sure we all have variations.
He was basically supposed to be 6 feet tall because if you measure his arms, fingers to fingers.
Oh, does he have monkey arms too?
He does.
I had monkey arms when I was a kid. You see a picture of me when I was 10. And my hands actually hang next to my kneecaps.
He was supposed
When
to
I
be
was standing up straight, my hands would
Yeah.
hang right next to my kneecaps. I was like freakishly tall with
Yeah,
this really
he was
tall,
supposed
tiny
to
torso.
be 6 feet tall. His brother is 6 feet tall, and he has size 8 men's shoes, which is small.
My ex-husband's a size 6.
So that does not compute.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, and I've got short arms, but that does seem to be working on me.
It's the cancer treatment as a baby.
Yeah.
42 years ago. Wasn't that great?
The other little tip that she gave us during that class was that this measurement from the tip of your middle finger to the end of your thumb times 3 is the circumference of your head. And if you want a hat that will cover your ears, the top tip of your middle finger to the heel of your hand before you start the decreases. It's amazing.
That's why I had her mention it, because new people in the group.
There's this whole thing.
Yeah.
So if you ever...
I feel like I've been under a log.
If you ever take the Yarn Harlots Rock the Sock class, don't tell her I told you all this.
Well, it sounds like it's a really interesting class.
It's a great class. I've never needed a sock pattern to knit socks.
Was that the one that I didn't go to?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was in Perth.
Yeah.
I think that was me and Sarah.
Is she giving classes at
Sarah
Frolic?
or me and Carrie? I don't remember.
Sarah and Carrie.
Was it all three?
I was working. You bought me the class at Twist that year.
Yes. Which was also pretty awesome. That was the speed knitting class.
I don't know if she's giving the class at Frolic next week.
Kate
Atherley is.
I think
I'm pretty sure she is.
I think she
is. I saw her name on the website.
Kate Atherley's in Ottawa, I think, this weekend.
Yes.
For a workshop with the Guild.
Her pattern, basic rib socks, is what I knit my husband. Her pattern.
I just used Stephanie's pattern from the Knitting Rules book, which is basically what the sock class is based off of. And I've never needed a pattern to knit socks. Actually, I don't think I've ever finished a pair of pattern socks.
Yeah, you did.
Have I?
Yeah.
Brandy's and Carrie's. Yeah. Because I've finished a pair of Brandy's that I test knit for her. And I finished a pair of Carrie's that I believe I test knit for her as well. Mm-hmm. So, hooray! I have finished pattern socks. Not frequently. I don't use them very often. So this is based off the Afterthought Everything socks, which is this pattern that Sue just handed me a copy of to show you guys. She bought it. And it's by Erica Kempf Broughton. Mm-hmm. And as you can see in the middle picture, that long tube, that's the finished sock before you take it apart to put the heels and toes on. So...
the finished pair, in fact.
Yes,
right?
The finished pair.
Yeah.
Because what I'm going to do when I get to the end of my finger here, when I get that much more sock, is I'm going to put another strand of waste yarn around, cut the blue yarn, weave in the ends, and start again with the blue yarn to knit the other foot of the sock. Because I can't leave it all in one piece, because then I won't have enough to weave in afterwards.
Right, of course.
I've had to puzzle this out myself, because I had not yet seen the pattern. I figured it out. It took me a while, but I figured it out. And so that's on 2.5 millimeter needles, which is the US 1.5. And the reason I can't knit on them right now is because they're arrow needles. And when your fingers are sweaty, arrow needles stick. So my yarn is actually sticking to the needles right now, and I can't knit.
Where are your...
They're in another pair of socks.
Okay. See, she finished the sentence. Didn't even have to.
My carbons are in another pair of socks, and so are my high sharps.
Cool.
That's all I'm working on.
All right. So I guess I haven't been here for 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Thereabouts.
About something like that. Mm-hmm. Anyway.
4, I think.
No. After I can't remember.
Yeah, because we last did it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So, I had... well... everything kind of went to hell in a handbasket because my knitting mojo just kind of left the room for about a week, and nothing seemed to be advancing, and there was some frogging and different decisions being made. So I'd been using this yarn, which is the Bergère de France Gumi 50 in the Imprime Prune colorway. And I was making the business casual socks by Tanis Lavallée. Sue and I were knitting one day at work, and I was just going on. And I think I'd mentioned that I was having to fiddle with the pattern a lot. And I looked at her and I was like, I will not be making a second one of these. It's not going to happen. I'm not enjoying having to fiddle all the time, because I don't know why. It just wasn't working out for me. What is that? The title of the episode?
No.
Oh,
Podcast?
Yeah.
So anyway, I frogged the business casual socks.
The frog pond was hopping that night.
And
I didn't even notice what I'd done there. The frog pond was hopping. I didn't even notice that at first, but I noticed it after I said it.
So I frogged the socks right there at lunchtime with Sue,
Yeah.
and she said, "Why don't you try the Hermione's everyday sock?
Like
it's
a
so
4-stitch
easy,
pattern."
and just do it." So that's what I have turned the sock into.
I think they look okay.
It looks really
It
good.
looks good, although I have to say it's not easy because this yarn, in addition to being dark, is heathered. And so just seeing the pearl bumps is a bit of a challenge, and I actually at one point made a mistake, and I'm not even 100% sure I fixed it, but I thought, you know what? No one's going to be able to notice. So, truth be told, I think this yarn would have been much better just being a plain old vanilla sock, but I wanted something with a little bit of intrigue for me
Now you
as a
can
knitter.
see the hoopla over that pattern.
And it's a great pattern, but as you can see, like you can kind of see it happening there, but it's a little bit lost in this yarn. Too bad. It's going to happen anyway. It's going to become that that pair of socks. My sock knitting is now just the lunchtime knitting, so if we only meet once a week, that's how often I knit on this. So these will probably end up taking a little bit longer.
Did you even pick that up yesterday?
No, because I've been wanting to finish my other
Right,
project. So
okay.
I actually brought my sweater to work. But this is what I've been working on, and it's been in this bag of mine. So last time I was here...
You just brought the sock with you too.
Oh, hello. Hello, sock! Last time I was here, I was swatching with this yarn, which is the Joe Sharp Alpaca Kid Lustre, which is a combination of alpaca, kid mohair, and merino.
Which is why she's over there.
Yeah. And I was swatching because I wanted to make the Ruta cardigan, which had this stitch pattern on it with a bit of cabling. And even when I was here, I was just like, it's really nice, but I feel like that
It's not prominent
it's
enough.
just not showing up because of the type of yarn this is, because of the loose twist
and the
on it.
halo. And
I went home, I continued swatching, I took pictures, I shared with others, and then I was just like, this is just, I'm having to convince myself too much.
you weren't feeling it.
No, I really want to make the cardigan, and I really wanted to knit with this yarn. And so I ended up frogging that, and that's where I spent almost the whole week with my mind going in every direction, trying to figure out what to make with this yarn. And then I thought, I've been wanting to make the Deco cardigan by Kate Davies for a very long time. I had bought it a long time ago. I had met Kate Davies at Edinburgh Yarn Festival. I don't think I told you guys that last time, but she was, I think, her and Isolde were the two people that I just wanted to be able to have a little conversation with. Kate Davies was there at her booth. She was signing books left, right, and center. Such a sweet, lovely little person. She's teeny weeny. And I just went up to her and told her how much I love her Instagram page because she posts the most fantastic photographs. Her and her husband, they're out in the Scottish nature often, and they're just gorgeous pictures. So I want to tell her that, and she
really matched that well to the dress. The dress looks great with
so
that.
it's this cardigan, which is inspired by the 1930s. Unfortunately, the pattern's been folded quite a bit, so it's sort of a 1930s style cardigan. And I thought, oh, this will also fit our CAL, our Knitalong, for the Europe part of our CAL right now, because she is based in Scotland.
You can tell she hasn't been here for a week or two. Sweater. She has most of a sweater. At least a significant portion of a sweater.
Oh yeah, she got like one sleeve left. Oh, you did finish the sleeve.
I finished. Whoops. I'll bring the measuring tape along with it too while I'm at
I
it.
don't think it's because you're caught in your progress paper.
No, it's here. It's good. We'll just dump that there. So it is coming along very well, I have to say. Here, I'll try it on, just so you can see what it's going to look like. And I'm actually making this. One of the reasons I really wanted to knit with this yarn was because this is going to suit my Harrisville tweed skirt very nicely. And I thought I really want to have a cardigan to go with this skirt. Create
And
outfit.
you wanted a shorter one too.
And I wanted a shorter one. So this just goes just beyond the waist. And I've done the bands. I've finished the first sleeve. I just finished it last night. I hadn't actually even tried it on. But it's just fine. And so tonight I will be picking up for the second sleeve. It's a set-in sleeve, so you have to do all the short row shaping. The alpaca really gives it a buttery kind of feeling. And I'm hoping to finish this. I will have just enough yarn. And so that's why I did the button band and the neckband before I did the sleeves, because I thought, well, I really can't skimp on that yarn, but I can make the sleeves slightly shorter if I need to. So I thought I'll finish all that before I do the sleeves, and then I'll know how much. So I will have used pretty much the 10 balls that Holly gave me. Thank you, Holly. Look how quickly this has become an FO. There's 120 yards. So this is going to take me almost 1,200 yards for this sweater, which is actually a lot for a cropped cardigan, but it's knit at a very tight gauge, so it's using up more yarn. It's been a wonderful, wonderful pattern to knit. It's extremely well written. What would you expect from Kate Davies? Nothing less than that. And I think it's just going to have a really lovely fit.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. So hopefully next time I'm on, it won't actually have, it's actually closed with snaps, and then you just put buttons on the outside for decoration. So there are no holes in the button band, and I have to get ribbon for the inside, this is all a little bit new to me, so I'm excited about that. And it was a bottom up construction as well, so I did a 3 needle bind off at the shoulders. And that's it. There it is.
That's really nice.
I'm very, very happy with it. Really, really glad. Thank you again, Holly, for the yarn, because it's really awesome. Our friend Holly's leaving for Sicily and Malta on Monday.
She got her manicure yesterday.
I know.
Mani-pedi yesterday for her trip.
So the other thing that I have been knitting on, because also in the last 3 weeks, I suddenly got a bout of tendinitis. I would say golfer's elbow, because it was on the inside here. And if you watch Fruity Knitting Podcast, she was talking about the exact same thing. And I was like, that's what I've got. I had pain coming right down from here, right into here. I couldn't even touch my elbow. It was so sore. I went to my massage therapist, and she said, well, I'm kind of surprised you haven't already had this because you knit so much. And so I've just resolved to just massage it every day and keep the blood flowing through there, and that's helped it. After I went to her and I iced it, and because tendons, basically there's not a lot of circulation there, so you have to kind of bring the blood in.
I highly recommend Voltaren.
Yes.
Knitter's injuries.
I
had to do that to my shoulder and elbow last night.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've been putting a little bit of Voltaren, which is a topical analgesic. And I just massage, like, every day. I massage the inside, I massage the outside.
Because one must knit.
I massage here because I was like, yeah.
Gotta finish this sweater.
This cardigan has to get finished. I thought, even if I knit a little bit less, I don't want to have to stop. And then I thought, my crochet blanket needs to get done. Maybe crocheting won't aggravate it because I'll be moving differently. And mostly I would say that I was right about that.
Jeez, it's huge.
So I got a lot done on this crochet blanket because I resolved that I want it to be done by Isla's birthday, because this is for her, and I want it to be a single bed size, and her birthday's in November.
End of November.
End of November. So I've got time. And I can do it. So the last time I showed this blanket to you guys, I think I had just finished this turquoise square. So since then, I finished this row and I've done those 2 rows.
I know what this is.
Yeah, there's an awful lot of yarns. I won't talk about them all. And I have to be honest, I'm nowhere near as organized as Lynn. And so I don't actually know what all the yarns are.
Well, this one's opal.
That's the opal
Pirates Love Rainbows.
That's Pirates Love Rainbows. This was my Riverside Studios that I used for my
the salt and pepper,
exploration station. Sue gave me a mini, which is this one right here. And this was a mini that Sue had dyed herself. And it was kind of when after you had made your first initial skeins and it was leftover water. But I have to be honest, I was like, I would buy a sweater quantity of this. It's such a beautiful color. Look at that. It's kind of like a...
The minis really reminded me of Richard DeVries yarn.
A mauvey taupe.
The colorways that he dyes.
This one is the No Maker's Strawberry.
Yeah.
Was it just strawberry?
It's No Maker's Scruffy Gnome, which is their tweed base, and strawberry.
I love that. This is the opal. This one here is the what I had made my Carrie shawl out of, the Log House Cottage Yarns, which is a local dyer.
I haven't broken into my skein of that yet.
This was my Hedgehog Fibers pistachio. This one here that I had used for my Fine and Dandy socks. In fact, this was the pirate yarns that I made socks out of. So there's some. This was the Bittersweet Woolery that I made my Nutkin socks out of. So there's some that I've have come by way of other people, or that I've. Oh, this was the Fondant Fiber Yorkshire's Finest that I used for my I Heart Bees. This one here.
Is this from my socks?
Crocheted yourself into the
blanket. I probably have.
That looks like Downton Abbey.
No.
You didn't have that darker taupey thing.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name, but I made a pair of socks for a friend.
It was
out
a
of this
darker
one.
green.
So anyway, it is coming along. I'm really enjoying it. I have started watching Outlander.
I have to read the books first.
I cannot stop watching Outlander.
I was just like, I need to start watching it. Get to work on, was it the Monday or the Tuesday? And she's like, I started watching Outlander. And I'm like, but I started watching Outlander.
Yeah, we both started watching it, although you've got other stuff going on. And I'm just like,
you're way ahead of
when
me.
Can I go down to the basement and start watching TV? And so I've been crocheting on this and knitting on the sweater and watching Outlander.
And see, I tried to have it, the way I have my setup is my sewing machine is there, my computer's on this side, and I have my headphones plugged into the computer, wrapped around my sewing table so I can have them on. I can't listen to something while I'm sewing.
Yeah.
So if I had my headset on, but
good idea.
You gotta be watching Outlander while you're watching it.
Yes.
There's no sewing and just peeking every so often, so I tend to watch podcasts.
It's very action. There's quite a bit of eye candy, I have to say.
Jeez. So I've heard.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
I'm old enough to be Jamie's mom. That's okay.
He's 36
Is he?
in real life. I checked.
not quite old enough to be his mom. Too young to date. But...
Yeah, no, the eye candy's definitely there. But you know, I have to say, the storyline's great. There are times that I'm kind of like, it's a little on the schmaltzy side, but and other times where it's interesting because apparently it's historically accurate and it's about the Jacobite Wars between England and Scotland, which you haven't gotten to yet.
No, they're talking about it.
They're talking about it, and
Gets ugly.
It's just the landscape is so beautiful, and it's making me just my love affair with Scotland is just kind of like
Jacobite Wars when all the clans stopped, right?
Well, basically, it was sort of the end of the Highland life, as apparently. We'll see how that actually plays out. And then the accent, the Scottish accent. It's so interesting to listen to it all the time. I have to say, as somebody who loves languages.
And there are so many different Scottish accents as well. I mean, it's
because
like
Jamie
England.
sounds
so
one way and
ones.
his uncle sounds totally different.
Yeah, different, some variations.
You really have to kind of look at him and go, okay, what are you saying?
But what I find interesting is the way they turn phrases, and the emphasis sometimes is different, especially in the negatives where they say, I do not want to go, or they don't say I don't, they say I do not want to go.
Yeah.
And it's just really interesting. So I have to say my kids are getting tired of me speaking with a Scottish accent at home because I just keep talking in Scottish all the time. It's so much fun. But anyway, I'm totally enjoying that. Staying up way too late when it's a work night.
Don't ask me what time I was up till.
Crocheting and knitting and just like watching TV. It's been really fun. I have to say.
Netflix and knit.
Yeah. So I actually think that I might actually finish this for Isla's birthday. I'm
so
very
how many
excited.
more rows which way do you have to go?
I have not counted.
Okay.
I haven't. I'm like, if I start counting and doing that and figuring out how many left I have to go.
Yeah, it'll be too much pressure.
It's kind of like,
it has to cover a twin bed, right?
Basically.
Yeah.
Exactly. So when I think, oh, this looks about that size, I'll go try it out. And I'm using as the cream colored yarn is Sadness Garn.
The toe. Oh no.
Sisu.
Sisu.
Sadness Garn Sisu. Where is it?
Very
there?
white.
There you go. It's a very good price point for a fingering weight yarn, and I need a lot. Like, I've already used, I think, 10 balls for the.
Well, you've
the
got a
cream part.
huge border, which I love.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm gonna do a border along the outside. I think in cream. Maybe in another color, depending on what Isla might want. But this is going to be her birthday present.
Just technically, you
in
could
November.
use any color of the rainbow.
I could. And she loves turquoise. So I actually thought, because this square here is this yarn here, but I don't think I have enough of it to do the border in, but she would probably really like that. I think I have one ball left, but it won't be enough. So anyway, that is what I have been working on, and I've actually
recognize that. That's one of mine.
Is it?
Yes,
I
that
remember.
is. What's it called? It's
Very
Lang 6-ply.
Right.
It's Lang Magic 6-ply.
And there's a Juliana one.
Yep.
From her prism.
That's her silver lining? No, that's not what hers is called. I don't remember what it's called.
You had given me one, but you weren't sure what it was, and I love it. And I thought, boy, if I could get my hands on it, on a full skein. Although now I'm like, oh my gosh, where is it?
To be fair, it was probably given to me by somebody else.
Completely other end of the blanket. Oh, this one here. It's a striping yarn, and it's just got gorgeous lime green and gray and cream.
Oh, that's also Lang Magic.
It was Lang.
That was a different colorway.
Yeah.
That I had started to do a
know if you
baby
can
surprise jacket in that, and ended up putting it down for like a year, forgetting where I was and frogging the whole thing. But it's a single.
It's a single.
And it's slightly thicker than a fingering, but because it's a single, can stretch as thin as a fingering. It's a weird texture.
Is it meant to be a sock yarn?
Yeah, well, it was being sold with the sock yarns at Wabi Sabi, but
Yeah.
that's where I bought it. It was going to the used up stash in my stash, and it's in there. It also had yellow and blue and white.
Yeah, I loved the colors in it. So there we go, and that is still being housed in this
For
bag,
much
but I
longer.
don't know for how much longer, which is by Quince Pie. Quince Pie, she's on Etsy, and she makes these big bags, and it was actually Kay on the Bakery Bears who had one, and when I saw it, I thought, ooh, I could use that for my blanket, and off I went to shop.
Enablers.
Yeah.
Us? No.
So I think that's it. My 3 works in progress.
Cool.
Yeah. I like this idea of having something that I knit at work at lunchtime. I just leave it there. I don't have to worry about grabbing something in the morning.
Well, that's what my socks will be, but I really need to finish that shawl. So
This pair of socks has been living in my purse, and every
Yeah,
time I
purse
have
knitting.
time to sit down for a minute or two, I do a couple rounds.
I often also have my little bee bag with minis in it and a crochet hook. I bought a new crochet hook, so I have one with the blanket and one in this bag. And I really like the Prim crochet hooks, which have a black handle on them. They sell them at Wool Time. So I just
They're
have
inexpensive and they're ergonomic. They feel
a little
good.
bag of minis that I carry around, and when I have a moment or I'm like, oh, stuck somewhere, I pull it out and crochet. So voila, my works in progress. So,
next section.
on to the boob tube.
The boob tube. Somebody, after a few years being away, is podcasting again, and I had a happy squee moment. It's Rachel, who is the Tiny Geek Crafter, and she is the one who used to dye for Cattail Knits. She's back. I'm happy.
So is Cattail Knits a different person now?
No, she was cattail knit. She doesn't do yarn anymore.
She's no, she does bags and stitch markers and stuff now.
Yes.
Yeah. She's got a different name too. So
yeah. So it's called The Furry Knitter, and after quite a long hiatus, she's back. But she'll be kind of off and on for the next month or so because she has to have a surgery, which I won't get into. But I was really happy to see her back and see the critters walking around the background.
What kind of critters has she got?
Cats and dogs.
Okay.
Yeah. When she lived in Texas, no, she's in Texas now. When she was living, where was she living?
Wherever
before?
she was living before.
It was more north. It was more north. She was a foster, so she had a lot of animals.
So it was different animals every week.
Yeah. Not every week,
no,
but yeah, she had a lot. So she's back. So if you don't know about her, her group name has changed in Ravelry, but she doesn't have any of the new stuff on there. So just search Tiny Geek Crafter on YouTube, and you'll find her. The other one I discovered was someone called Laura, and she is with the Woolly Wolverine podcast. She has 12 episodes. She's in Ireland, and she's adorable. I love her.
Somebody else was mentioning her. Can't remember who, but
love her. She knit a whole bunch of little ducks for Easter.
Aww.
They were the cutest thing. I think she knit like 20 of them. They were just tidy, and she had like the little beaks and a ribbon around them. Oh, they were so cute. And then the last one was something I stumbled upon on YouTube. It's Tanis Lavallee has a podcast.
Yes, she
with
does.
her husband.
I haven't watched it.
It's
new. I think she's only got 2 episodes.
Yeah, I watched both episodes, and so the first one was basically about the business and explaining how things worked and got to the way they are. And she basically runs the business side of the business now, and he is the dyer.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and apparently she says he's really got more of an eye for color. Like when he comes up with colorways, she's astounded sometimes because she's like, how did that come up? Like, and so so he's the dyer, and it was all run out of their house. Oh well, it started in a very small apartment apparently.
Yeah.
And then they moved, and now he's got like a shed with proper ventilation and everything. It's in the backyard. So
that's cool.
When they're working, they're not actually together. She's in the house, he's doing the yarn, and because she couldn't do both.
Well, I think that's what happens when you start as an indie dyer.
Yeah.
And your business grows after a while. Actually, Kristen of Vollenvine was just talking about getting admin help.
Well, she basically said, do I quit my job to do this full time? If I quit my job to do this full time, like Kristen did, like it's a whole hog, go for it.
Yeah.
So,
Does anybody regret quitting their full-time job?
Those are very popular dyers.
I think there have been a couple, maybe. But
and I mean, Kristen still does it in her apartment. She put pictures. I saw pictures.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and small batch dyeing, but she does a lot of it. Yeah. So those are 3 new podcasts, so go check them out.
I've been watching Skein Deer a lot with Ellie. Mm-hmm. Ellie and I met at Edinburgh Yarn Festival, and we've been part of this, we were part of the Rogue Kaylee group. And it's been really fun to watch her, as well as Carola, who is Amber Fox 86. She's got a podcast as well, and she's been part of our group too. And her podcast is called What Makes My Heart Happy, I believe.
She's VK'd with us a couple of times, I think.
She's a lovely, lovely person. It's been really fun.
Carola, yeah, I'm pretty sure she has.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I've been little by little discovering new ones too, like you were talking about the Cottage Notebook.
Yeah.
And I met her at Nadia at Edinburgh Yarn
And you didn't
Festival.
know she had a podcast.
No.
And then I talked about it, and you were like, oh, well, yeah.
Sorry, the dog's going a little ballistic.
The dogs are barking. My son has people over.
Life.
Yep. She's being her protective 12-year-old
She doesn't bark at me
dog.
like that.
No, she's getting old and ornery.
I occasionally get one bark out of her. More often than not, I'm met at the door with "Grrr," and then she licks me. Mm-hmm. So
I have a little bit of shop talk.
Cool.
I wanted to mention that I still have the 3 skeins of yarn that I dyed for Marilyn's Leading Men in the 3 colors: Tony Curtis Crimson, Laurent Olivier Orange, and Clark Gable Green. Yeah, I really want to keep that one, but I'm not. And there's 1 set of minis left. And I think I actually get so much stuff here. Don't mind me as I forage. There's the minis. You grab them?
Okay.
Don't keep them.
Lady, you handed them over.
There's so much stuff in here. I'm sorry if you're seeing the top of my head.
You're making the camera focus go all funny.
Hi.
Because your head's like a foot in front of us.
I think
Came down from the cellar.
Yeah, so the minis are there. So when they come out of her top, you can see them.
Actually, I'm going to take them out of there because
It's probably not the most
Plastic.
comfortable thing.
they're in
Do you
a
wanna take them
Ziploc
out the
bag. They're
plastic?
Of course you
fine.
can.
They're so lovely.
They really are lovely.
Yeah, I think
I might put them down my top.
this is the one that Holly wants.
You
a
might
full
not
skein of.
notice. I can understand why she wants a full skein of that. And this is a super wash base, right?
No, 100% nylon.
100% nylon.
100% merino. Sorry.
But superwash merino.
No.
No.
Oh, it's a non-superwash.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, that's news to me.
You didn't realize that?
No. So the skein that you gave me, is that non-superwash?
Yeah, just merino.
Okay.
That's the only base she has up until now.
It's beautiful. Look at them. They're just great. This one didn't show up, but I really like this yellowy one here. Nicely
John's
done.
friend. That's why he has a friend.
Nicely done, Sue.
Thank you. And then I posted on Saturday. Yeah, Easter weekend. The kits went up. The Spring Fling kits went up in the shop. These are the two options. And in this envelope, I will pull out the stitch markers that go along with them, which I absolutely love.
They are so pretty.
So the one with the bag with the blue top gets the blue stitch markers. And this is what I actually used to match the fabric. Let's see if I can get this this way.
It's a gorgeous aqua.
It's hard.
Hey, matches my sweater.
Sort of. Come on, focus.
You gotta cover faces to get it focused.
Sorry. There we go.
There we go.
And then there's the green that goes along with it, with the other bag. It's hard on the body. Sorry.
Work your core, woman.
So somebody did buy a kit, and it's Valerie, who's
Cool.
Yarn Knit Mama.
Cool.
Our Valerie.
Our Valerie. So that
She's
is,
local.
yep. It's been mailed to her. Okay. Then I made some pouches. So what I decided to do was cut a whole bunch of fabric one night, and then I could just take them and piece them together. And it worked out great because I got quite a few bags done. So I made some flat pouches, some with handles, some without. These are owls, and this is the fabric that I went to Fabricville to get the fox fabric that Shella had, and well, this was there. It's got yellow inside. And I made this beautiful green. Oh my god, I love it so much.
That's really fun.
Yep.
That might not make it into the shop.
Okay.
Just saying.
And then there's the paisley lovers.
Not for me, for you.
Oh, yeah, I know. I've got more of it, so.
Oh, okay. It'll make it into the shop.
So this was the paisley. So of course that has blue inside. The other one has bright green. And there's this one that I put a sock project in just to show you that it's a pouch, but it's still...
It has enough room for two 50-gram skeins of sock yarn.
So yeah, once the sock gets a little bit bigger, it might not be as roomy, but...
I really love that fabric. It makes me think of pomegranates.
I don't know why, I was like, I absolutely love it. And it's got the pink.
Ouch.
The fabric's on the inside. I think
Yes,
it's
look at
the
all
yellow.
these different colored zippers.
Because I bought colored zippers from Amazon. 9-inch zippers, but they're not actually the length of a true 9-inch, which should be 9.5.
Yeah, well.
So I had to like figure out a way to fix the
That's
ends.
what happens when you buy them from China.
No, those were ones for Amazon. The white zippers are from
The white
China.
ones were from China, and yes, they were multicolored.
Yeah, no. So anyway, so this one is
I like
this
that
fabric is stunning.
It's got dragonflies and butterflies.
Yeah, and I put this fabric on the inside, and then I made a wedge bag out of the same fabric.
So if you're looking for a makeup bag.
Mm-hmm. And then I made 4 drawstring bags, which aren't quite finished. I have to square off the ends and put the drawstrings in. So we've got an owl. So that's the sock size, the same as what's in the shop now. the paisley. And then the fabric that Lynn loves.
It's a gorgeous fabric.
They're just my colors.
So they're basically identical to the flat ones, so I just have to square them off and put drawstrings, and in the shop they will go.
I'm having trouble creating Etsy listings.
I can help you.
For some reason, Etsy seems to think that I'm mailing from the US. Even though the first listing I created for the buttons, I didn't have any problem. It said mailing from Canada.
I know there's been a bunch of changes going on in Etsy, so
I spent 6 hours on it the other day. Couldn't figure it out.
I will try and help you.
Because I have all the pictures taken, all the samples are done. I have every mold that I have available has sample buttons in it in a bunch of different colors. So I'm ready to create the listings. I just have to... And I got my first commission.
Yes.
Cool.
Guess from who?
My ex-husband. He was like, you know that button thing you're doing? Don't suppose you could make buttons for my leather coat, could you? They've all gone missing. So yeah, I'm making him some black buttons for his leather coat.
Like, where did the yarn go?
Very cool.
So now we have the 200th episode giveaway announcement. And as we mentioned, there is a skein of beautiful Woolen Vine in her Nouveau base, and this is the 100% superwash merino in the Myth colorway.
Yeah, it's a single ply.
And then
I won't put it down my top, but I am going to pet it a little bit.
And then we have the one hook double stitch, which we've had for a while.
A very long while.
It was a very nice donation.
Yeah. And there's a little owl stitch marker, progress keeper that matches the business card.
And that is a worsted weight yarn.
Yes, it's 100% superwash merino, worsted 218 yards. So we have 2 winners. We random number generated before we podcasted. The first post was 117, and who was that?
Let's go, Joe 63. Yay! So you are getting the Woolen Vine yarn. We will be sending that to you in Belfast.
Yep.
So Belfast.
Please contact Sue, me, Crafty Knitter 7, and I will mail that off to you.
Congratulations.
Yep.
And the second person was post number 123. Yeah. And that is Nana, who is Earl Knits, who has been a member of our group for a long time. So congratulations to you.
And I just
get this one.
I love on Ravelry because it says Nana. Yes, that's my real name.
Nana said something about enjoying knitting blueberry waffle socks, as well as her own recipe. Mm-hmm. Joe mentioned liking...
The fish lips kiss heel, I believe.
No, Nana mentioned the fish lips kiss heel. Oh my goodness, I think she liked Mina Phillips.
Yes.
Basic sock pattern, and there was another one as well. So thanks for participating, guys.
Yep.
Thanks for sticking around.
Yep. Nana, contact me. I'll get this out to you.
Excellent.
Yep.
Because if you contact me, it might not happen. That's why she's in charge of prizes.
Well, yeah. You know, I'll just put those in a bag. Oh, I keep doing that. Good. I keep putting the yarn on the mouse.
Yeah, and you clicked something, and I was afraid that we had stopped recording, but we haven't.
No, we didn't.
We're good.
So the next thing is the 2017 Travel the World by Design, second quarter, which is Europe.
Europe!
And Selma has a few words to say.
Well, I was just impressed because I went in there, and the projects that are in there so far are from, like, I was expecting to see a lot of
the classic Europe designers,
UK and Germany, and the classic ones that we know about. But there's a project from Estonia, another one from Hungary. I think there was one from Iceland, and so it's just great to see the variety of places that the patterns are coming from.
Mm-hmm. I just hope to get mine started soon.
So my Kate Davies is mine for at least one, but I think I'm probably going to be making something by Helen Stewart. So I'm sticking to the United Kingdom for now, it seems.
I haven't got that far yet.
Yeah. So that's very cool.
Yep. And the Brown Bag Sock Club, the second quarter, is well underway. And just a reminder that it's 50 grams is the minimum. We had changed that for this quarter because we realized
most people don't use a whole 100 grams.
And there are people who don't knit socks, eh? It's the Brown Bag Sock Club, but it's really about sock yarn.
Sock weight yarn. So knit what you want with sock weight yarn.
Yeah, so there are people who do shawls, like a one skein shawl and stuff like that.
Ramona did some gloves.
Yeah, those were
gloves.
awesome.
Yeah.
And the Canadian came out there a little bit.
Really? What did I say?
You said, not everybody's knitting socks, eh?
Yep, I think you could probably tell that I'm Canadian if you pay attention.
And was it Ramona that just posted on Instagram? She did a shawl from the middle out.
Very cool.
And it was triangular. That was
really
cool.
I love that. We're going to be seeing Ramona in Toronto.
Please bring it. I'd like to see it.
I'm very intrigued by that pattern. The yarn was very cool too. It was a gradient yarn.
So yeah, lots of stuff going on. Way too many sock patterns from our 200th episode with all their vanilla socks. But there's some of that I hadn't heard of. Yeah.
So I was queuing everything.
I know. It's like, how much do you put in your
queue?
Yep.
Add to queue.
So many things to knit. So little time.
Yeah, working for a living.
It's really terrible.
You know, it's going to hit into your working for a living. If the job is yours, which it could be.
Yes, it's ideal in the sense that we need the money, but it does take up a lot of time. Yeah. What can I say? It would be nice to have a little bit more time to craft.
But it would be. But hey, I get a few stitches here and there at my desk. My boss doesn't mind, so.
Actually, they were just talking on the radio the other day, those of you that watch us from Germany, because they were talking about... What were they talking about? It was on CBC Radio.
Why don't you tell us what they were talking about?
Jeepers creepers. Off went my brain somewhere into the... But what they were saying, they were talking about the workday and how, there's still this notion that we need to work 7.5 hours a day, 5 days a week to be productive. And they were talking about the fact that there are countries such as Germany and another one where people actually work a shorter work day, and they are.
I know Sweden is 6 hours.
It was Sweden and Germany,
and they're more productive.
And they are more productive than the countries that have longer days. Japan being one.
Oh yeah.
And I can't remember what the other one. They were saying that they're actually lower on the productivity scale.
I know the U.S. is way down there.
Yeah, so
people work on average between 10 and 12 days in the U.S.
10 and 12 hours.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, and they have no legislated vacation even.
No, actually,
right?
the labor laws in the United States are awful.
Like
for a first world country, it's awful.
So, and even here, we've got legislated 2 weeks, but we still are very much of this mindset that you need to work, 7.5 hours a day. So I just thought that was really interesting. So imagine if we had 6 hours a day. That's an hour.
Because they want us to work
knitting
7.5 hours with a half-hour lunch and 2 15-minute breaks. Most of us combine that into an hour lunch because I'm up and around. I don't really need to go take a break in the morning or the afternoon.
No.
Unless I'm running off to get a coffee or something. But
usually you're just going to get your coffee and coming back. But,
I mean, my productivity peak is between 11 and 7. It's not between 8 and 4.
I have to be honest. Mine is too. Often it's around 3:30 when I'm suddenly kind of like on this roll, and I'm thinking I have to leave. Yeah,
it's like I've got so much to do, and then 3 hours. I'm like, I haven't heard from Selma in hours. Because we work at the same place, so we're often chatting.
Anyway, that's just some food for thought for those crafters who wish we had a little bit more time. Maybe this idea of these 8-hour days or 10-hour days being highly productive.
Yeah.
And not to mention that in Sweden and Germany, I'm sure you start with 4 weeks holiday a year, whereas in Canada, in most places, it's 2 weeks a year. In the federal government, it's 3 weeks. But
Rob is 53. He still only gets, he still only gets 2 weeks vacation a year.
The private sector, they can kind of
no sick leave. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And he's in a right to work state, which means
they can say bye-bye when they want.
They can just kick you out with no notice and no reason.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. It would be nice to craft a little more.
The labor laws to improve so we could have shorter days and knit more.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm working longer days to get a day off every 3 weeks.
I think that's a perfectly noble cause. Knitting. The world needs knitters. Don't you think?
They do.
And we have all this stash.
We keep people warm.
We do have a lot of stash. I need to be able to knit through my who knows how many dollars worth of stash. So, speaking of stash.
Flash your stash. We'll start with Lynn. Putting you on the spot because I want to know what she's got for me.
Oh, because right now it looks like Lynn has nothing.
I know.
Yeah, I don't know why she didn't put it down.
I put the other stuff.
Yeah. I was just noticing that, but fortunately I know what I have. So,
Sorry.
I obtained this. Somebody was destashing their 2014 Rhinebeck tote bag.
Right?
That's about the same.
Okay.
Somebody was destashing.
It's a lighter material.
It doesn't have a pocket on the front, but it's got 4 pockets on the back, 3, and a big pocket on the inside, which is currently where my project is living.
It's yellow. That's kind of awesome.
Yep, that's where my
And it's
my yarn
detached.
is living.
Mm-hmm.
It's detached except at the top.
Yeah, except the top, but that's kind of awesome.
So I got that. Somebody was destashing, and I got it.
Because all the stuff came with Rob when he was here at Easter.
Rob was here last weekend. And then I ordered, before I found out that I wasn't going to have any more money coming in, I ordered myself a set of luxury minis from Handmade by Stephanie, who is our friend Stephanie at Stitchcraft Marketing. She has an Etsy shop.
Oh, good
And
for her.
it's Handmade by Stephanie with an F, not a PH.
Yeah, and it's her name on Ravelry is Stephanie GRRR.
And
Yeah,
she
she's
is,
Stephanie Gurr.
She's in,
on
yeah,
Ravelry.
she's in Chicago.
And so I got a whole bunch of minis, and she sent me a few extras in there.
fun.
Because her mini packs have 10, and I think I got 15 or 16 in there.
Because she loves us.
And they're so pretty. And there's some bijou basin in there that's one of a kind, and some other stuff.
Well, yeah, because she has access to
I want to know
all
what that
kinds.
yellow and blue is, because I really like that. But
It reminds me of
all
a superhero.
kinds of really pretty minis. And there's stuff like Kramer Yarn Silk, and Manos, and Regia, and some Malabrigo. There's all kinds of really nice stuff. Some Spun and Chloe, some Shuffle wool. So pretty. Can't hold on to that, please.
Crinkle, crinkle.
Sorry.
Yeah,
no,
that's
sorry.
the crinkly package. And then I was hoping to get a mini skein set at No Makers, but they didn't have any in the shop. So I got the only 2 individual minis that they had. And one of them is Mars, and the other one is Easter Grass.
Oh.
I'm sure you can tell which is which.
You know which one I like. The Tweety one.
Yep. So that's what they've got. Well, that's what they had on offer when I ordered it. And I had them delivered to Rob's because it was way cheaper than getting them delivered here. It was almost, like, I think it was less than half the price.
I always put in his zip code and my postal code and see which is best and if I want to wait.
And this is what Sue wants to see, because I didn't actually show it in the picture. I left it wrapped up like this.
No, you didn't. Did you? You did!
What is it?
It's one of the
No
camp
Makers.
mugs.
Oh!
Thank
They
you so
look like camp
much.
mugs, but they're actual mugs.
Yeah, and it says...
Mornings are for coffee, yarn, contemplation.
In other words, shut up, I'm getting.
a sort of more couth way of saying it.
Well, more couth than the one.
The
coffee
one
mug I
she
have.
has at her.
Yes.
Well, it's here now.
Oh,
Which
okay.
has an F word in it.
Which Selma used once and didn't realize it.
I did. On the podcast?
No, at work.
Okay.
In a meeting.
Don't you remember on the 17th floor you went to a meeting, you needed a coffee mug, so you grabbed mine. But you did not know it said that on the other side. And you came back and went, I had to turn this around in the meeting.
I don't remember that.
This was years ago.
It was a
That
long time.
sounds
we were
traumatic.
still at L'Esplanade.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because when you grabbed it, you grabbed the handle and all you see is white and red. It says F off, I'm
I
knitting.
don't remember this.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you.
You're welcome.
And my husband's going to kill you.
It was on clearance.
My husband's still going to kill you.
It doesn't matter how much you paid for it, he's going to kill you.
The red and white ones are also on clearance. Hint, hint.
It's really nice.
Just saying. I only ordered the
Coffee,
one.
yarn, and contemplation.
I showed great
Doesn't that, you
restraint.
see, we need more
Restraint.
time for that.
Restraint.
We need more time for coffee. The world would be a better place if there were more time for contemplation.
This is true.
And yarn and coffee.
And shorter days.
Well, yes, exactly.
I'll stick to tea.
I'm going to put it back here
Yep,
for
that's
now,
fine.
okay?
Oh, and who was it? Somebody who won.
That's Joanne E.D.
Yes.
So Joanne sent us these lovely little care packages as a thank you for the prize that she won. And I'm super thrilled because it's the grapefruit David's tea, and I just bought a packet of the grapefruit because
We
that
actually
sounded delicious.
specifically left that one for you. Mine's the coconut one.
And Joanne, it's all gone.
The chocolate.
Well, mine isn't, but it will be.
I
soon.
ate the chocolate over 2 days, and the tea I've been
2
drinking it at
days.
work.
10 minutes.
Well, I ate the first half in 10 minutes, and the next half I
Okay.
thought I should probably wait till the next day.
No, there was no waiting.
And I did. And,
I haven't had the tea yet, but I will.
got the Caribbean Crush, which is a new flavor.
I got some of that too.
And it's really lovely, actually. I really enjoyed it. So
and she happens to work across the street. She just came back from, I think, language training. And so she came across the street and got it. So told her we might say, you know, it's nice weather out, knitting weather. She can come and knit with us.
Absolutely, that would be awesome.
Yeah,
I thought you said she worked at Tunney's. I thought she was at Tunney's. She was there for language training.
Oh, okay.
She works at 10 Wellington.
Oh, well, Joanne, get in touch with us and let's knit at lunch.
Yeah, because a few weeks ago I ordered all the summer teas with the exception of the sour watermelon because I don't do sour.
If there's anybody else who works in that area and wants to meet for lunch, let us know. We could organize something once a week. Hey? Yeah. That'd be fun.
And then Ann Bud sent us these lovely little gauge rulers.
Yep.
Which are super cool.
Yeah, I didn't bring mine, but it's great.
I've had one for a while. I got it in a swap, so I contacted her. And hang on a second, because I got a handwritten note from Ann.
She fangirled again.
I did. I just messaged her and asked if she would like to do a review or a giveaway. So she sent 4. The ladies each got one.
You already had one.
I already had one, so we have 2, which will go into some kind of prize. But I got a note from Ann. I hope you and your friends find these rulers handy. Yep.
So, those are cool.
Yeah. So those will probably be an add-on to a prize, or
yeah, maybe our next sock club one, or we'll see. Yep. Excellent.
So is that it for stash?
That's it for my stash.
Okay. And you?
What about those?
Oh, well, yes. I have a couple of minis from Sue.
I'm not sure what I did with my board. It's in here somewhere. There it is. So this is Lisa and Melissa from Episede Fault. That's all I'm going to say. So I have a pattern on here, which I don't want to actually show you. But there's a magnet. It's magnetic. And it's a board that I got from Loran. It's called Loran Magnetic Board. And they didn't have any on the Episede website. So I found one on Amazon. So I'm just trying to get everything off. So it's just basically a magnetic board.
It's a metal sheet.
Yep. So you put your sheet on it and put your magnets, and I put it in the
a pocket protector. Page protector, yeah.
And then the ruler on the outside slides up and down.
And because it's in a page protector, you can write on it with a whiteboard marker if you want to.
Yep. And there's a stand that comes with it, which I think could be handy.
That's cool.
But I haven't needed it yet. And I'm making all the noise. So yeah, so see this just, it slides. Okay, I'm going to stop now.
What about the rest of your stash?
That's all I got.
Is it?
Yeah.
What were you talking about her getting a bunch of yarn?
I don't have it yet.
Oh.
So the Shawl Society #2 came out from Helen Stewart, who is Curious Handmade, and of course I bought it. And the first shawl, she sends you emails giving you hints of what to use and what kind. Well, the Woolburn made a special colorway for the first shawl. And I caved. But I almost didn't get it because I was hemming and hawing and I kept refreshing the page and watching
you were
the numbers going down.
She was like, I don't know if I should get it. Yeah, you do.
So I got it. I did how many days?
Okay, you can call it a fail, but you did go 102 days.
102 days.
That's pretty good.
And then this week, because we're going to the Frolic next week,
in Toronto.
Our friend Ramona, who is part of the Toronto Knitting Guild, was seeing the Cozy Knitter. And I said, you know, perchance if she has the gingerbread colorway, could you grab one for me? So that's going to come home with me. And then I may or may not have had her Friends for Life colorway because apparently she had forgotten one at home and had one left. So, yeah. I've already bought yarn and I'm not there yet.
Yeah, Ramona was showing on Instagram.
Yeah, it's my order, Eric's order,
so all these
Shamika's
people
order.
who ordered yarn, I got it.
So after Frolic, are you going to
diet again?
What are you going to do?
Or... Am I going to what?
Diet again?
Yes. I'm not buying yarn at Frolic, so my diet started even though I don't have
really?
the yarn in my hand.
No, you said you might buy some pottery at Frolic.
I might buy pottery. which means a mug.
Zigzag Stitches is going to be there, and I've been wanting one of her bags for a rather long time, so I'm thinking that I might get a bag.
Yeah. Well, you're probably going to take a good 15-20 minutes to choose a bag. She brings a lot of stuff.
Yes. We'll see if I come home with yarn. I'm tempted because apparently they're who is it now? Raven. What's her name? Raven.
Yeah.
Raven,
I know who you mean. Ravenclaw. Raven.
100 Ravens?
No,
That's Justice Friends.
the one who has the new podcast, who has the store in Prince Edward County. Raven. Anyway, she's bringing stuff from her store.
Ravenwood Fiber Co. No,
Rosehaven.
Rosehaven. Thank you. Sorry.
As soon as you said Prince Edward County, I'm like, but her name isn't Raven anything.
Raven anything.
Rosehaven.
Anyway.
Sorry.
So she is apparently going to be having Brooklyn Tweed on sale.
Oh.
Because she's one of the new flagship stores.
And I have to say I'm really quite tempted by getting a sweater quantity or at least a cowl quantity.
You just knit up a sweater.
Yeah.
That never went into your
And
stash,
how many sweater quantities came home from
four. So anyway, I'm kind of thinking, oh, you know what? It's not my last opportunity to buy Brooklyn Tweed, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's on sale.
It's only a 3-hour drive.
And there'll be some at Rhinebeck as well if I were, so inclined. So anyway,
we'll
see what happens to me while I'm at Frolic, but my intention is to not buy anything.
So do you have stash?
Oh yes, I do.
Do you have stash? What a question.
Silly question.
So I wasn't going to buy stuff, and I'm trying hard to not buy a lot because I do want to get through all the beautiful yarns that I have. But Wool Barn, speaking of Wool Barn, because you just caved and bought some Wool Barn, she announced on Instagram,
oh, sucker,
that she was discontinuing her tweed base.
Discontinued, limited edition.
That's not cool.
And
you have to buy that.
Well, and I was like, okay, I have been coveting this yarn for a year and longer since, and not getting it because
she forced your arm.
So I thought, okay, if this is going to be my last chance to get some of her tweed sock base, then
gotta do it.
I'm doing it. And I didn't just buy one, but I bought 2 skeins, which I showed on Instagram.
Wow,
they are super
nicer
pretty
in person.
So this is her silver colorway, which is a very silvery blue, cool
Beautiful
color. I think actually very nice for, well, I was going to say for men's socks, but
silly.
Could be.
Those are for your socks.
And this colorway, which is cozy, which is kind of a taupey colorway as well.
Which is also for your socks.
Yeah. I don't know if you can see the difference, but I love them both. I really, really like this sort of heathered taupey color a lot. So I bought those, and I can't tell you yet, but the Apple Blossom socks by Curious Handmade, I was kind of thinking, oh, maybe they would be nice in something like this. They're being knit in very sort of pretty light variegated or speckled yarns now, and I thought maybe a solid would be interesting. So anyway, we'll see what happens, but socks. That's the only yarn that
I honestly don't think you had a choice there.
No,
I don't feel bad about that because I thought, well, I've been
what's a knitter to do?
What is a knitter to do? So then I got a mini from Sue too of that sparkly green stuff, which is going to go into the crochet bag right away. A friend of mine, alpaca warning. A friend of mine went to Peru.
That's why I'm sitting in the middle.
A friend of mine went to Peru and came back. She always buys gifts for everybody in the family. She's kind of a surrogate, one of my kids' surrogate aunts.
She brought you back an alpaca.
She brought me back pretty much an alpaca. Now,
wow,
one thing's kind of cool. One is, a sort of more commercially spun yarn in this Granny Smith apple colorway, and I was just like, this, it's a little bit more limey in person, but it is 100% pure alpaca, which she bought in the market there. The other one, which is also 100% pure alpaca, is spindle spun.
Oh.
Yeah, she said you see the women walking around spinning with a spindle.
We have to send you to this marketplace. Get you inspired.
So you can see that it is hand spun, and wow, like they do an amazing job. But it's...
Is it 2?
Yeah,
together?
So they've got it kind of plied in a very sort of rustic way. And you can see in spots where it has kind of overspun. So the two colors are actually, I thought, if I added a cream, I don't know if this might be too thick, but that with a cream color on the other side, I thought would make a rather gorgeous shawl. So we'll see what ends up happening with that. But that's another bit of acquisition that I was not expecting at all.
That doesn't count.
No.
Gifts don't count.
No.
Jen.
Shh. Do they count for Jen?
Yes, Jen counts them as yardage incoming.
Okay. Well, yes, I think you have to count them as incoming yardage.
Yeah.
But, you know, what are you going to do if people want to give you gifts? Then there are a couple of patterns that I have accumulated over the recent times. When I was having my bad mojo time, Sue took pity on me and bought a cardigan pattern for me.
She was talking about it.
I was really contemplating it for this, for the dark purple, but...
And she has to stop doing that because when she talks about pattern, I just go, check your inbox.
So this is the Southwell cardigan. I'm going to try and get this on screen by Olive Knits. She's a fun person to follow on Instagram. And I really like her patterns a lot. And it's a fingering weight
she's
sort
friends
of top-down
with
raglan cardigan.
She's friends with Ink Bags.
Oh, yeah?
She made the Stria cardigan.
Yes, that you're working on.
Yeah.
Or taking a break from.
Yeah, get it a bit closer.
So this is the, what was it called? The Perfect Crop Top, the TPCT.
Oh, that's what that means.
And it's just a teeny weeny little round yoke top. And I bought it primarily because, you know, I was thinking about my Harris tweed skirt. I would think I would make it actually a 3/4 length sleeve, but I thought it can have a very sort of retro look. It's a fingering weight top. It would probably use 2 skeins of fingering weight yarn. And she's got them very short and kind of, you know, sexy, which...
Midriff
type of thing, but I would probably make it slightly longer and add sleeves. But I wanted it more than anything for the recipe.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Anna Maria Otvos, I think she's Hungarian actually. A new pattern of hers came out the other day, and I just bought it right away because I was like, I want to make that.
It's beautiful.
And if I were to buy some Brooklyn tweed yarn next week at Frolic, I think I would be buying it with the aim of making
yarn with a purpose.
This sweater.
There we go.
Which is kind of a combination of cables and lace all around the front and the back and the sleeves.
Is it called Vanguard? Or?
It's called Vanguard.
Okay.
And I just
What
really
weight
liked
is that
it. It's a worsted weight, and I think
my worsted weight orange stuff might look good in that.
She has used the Plucky Knitter Plucky Cozy, which is an MC merino cashmere blend, but I mean, it looks really nice in a hand-dyed yarn, but I think it would be gorgeous in a tweedy kind of, or a heathered yarn as well. So, I bought it. And then there are a few little Edinburgh leftovers, because I realized last time when I was showing you guys my yarn haul that there were a few items missing. Just little teeny weeny little items. So, Lori, who is Intuit Knit, and she actually contacted me before Edinburgh. I think she watches our podcast, and she's got her own podcast as well by the name of Intuit Knit. And actually, I met her on the Thursday night before Edinburgh Yarn Festival when I had to pick up my lanyard for the festival. And she was the first person to say, "Hi, Selma!" And then she ended up helping me get my lanyard. So thank you, Lori. And we met there, and we're probably going to see each other at Frolic, so you'll get to meet her as well.
Oh.
And she was giving out shawl pins to everybody.
Wow.
Yeah, and they essentially, I think somebody in her family, was it her daughter or her daughter-in-law, who helped her to make these. And so it's a shawl pin like this. And so it'll just sit like that. Well, I won't pierce my...
Oh, it's wood.
It's made out of wood, and it's got "Into It" knit written on the one side. And just really simple, but just
cool.
Lovely. And it looks great with my exploration station. It's got some green in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I forgot to, that sort of ended up at the bottom of my bag last time, and I realized after. So her podcast is the Into It Knit podcast. She's a lovely person. It was really nice to meet her. And we hung out a little bit at Edinburgh Yarn Festival along with Kate from Hawthorne Cottage Craft and Tilly, and it was so much fun. I'm going to have memories from that forever. Mm-hmm. Then one other thing that I purchased was by this person who's got a shop called Chooky Birdie. That is one side of her card. Maybe this way. And there is the name, Chooky Birdie. And she was actually at the Old Maiden Ant Yarns stall, but she was selling these brooches, which are handmade. And
that's embroidered, by the way, if you can't tell.
Yeah. So it's fabric and then embroidered on top of the fabric. So there it is. And they were just fun and whimsical. So I had to buy one.
And they were birds.
Oh, gee. She had a fun fox, which I was considering.
Selma likes birds.
And then Carola, who I mentioned earlier, who is Amber Fox, is it 86?
I think it's 86.
She was at the Kaylee. And she gave me 3 stitch markers, or not stitch markers, progress keepers. And one of them I just loved, and I was actually using it while I was knitting my my purple turtleneck that I finished recently. And I put it somewhere, and now I don't know where. I put it somewhere thinking I'm going to keep it here for now, and I can't remember where that was, but it was actually kind of a goddess. It was really gorgeous. And she gave me these other 2. And they're just wonderful. One is sort of a Celtic symbol, and then the other one is like the tree of life. And then the third one was a goddess figure, which I just adored. And it will come back to me because it's just somewhere in the house, being a goddess quietly in the corner somewhere.
Who made the little pouch out of
that
book
was
pages?
The brooch person.
Because those
Isn't
are
that
pages
cool?
of a book sewn together.
So she has taken the... it looks like it's some sort of book about rock gardening. And she took 2 pages. It's an old book with thick paper and sewed it with red thread. Isn't that ingenious?
That's really cool.
You could do that with for your buttons or something like that too, or like it would be a great...
I could, but I'm lazy.
Yeah. But it's just, that's how she gave it to me at the Edinburgh Yarn Festival.
That's
Pages
really
91 and 84. And then I left Edinburgh Yarn Festival. I hadn't bought a bag, so I ordered them online, and they arrived this week. So this was sort of like Rhinebeck. They had their Edinburgh Yarn Festival bag.
Beautiful.
Yeah. You can order them online. And so like the ones from Ravelry, it's just a one ply.
One layer.
And then I also got the tote, which you are supposed to embroider yourself. So I'm hoping this summer to spend
really
a little
cool.
bit of time.
You know, that never even occurred to me when I first saw it.
Yeah, neither did it to me. But the
It's
idea
an embroidery pattern
is
stamped
that
on the bag.
you would embroider this ball of yarn. You could make it all one color. You could make it shades of one particular color, multicolored, whatever you're in the mood for.
That's kind of brilliant.
Yeah. So, and I think it's great because you get to practice different stitches at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's cool that a yarn festival would also be promoting other crafts, other stitch crafts. So that's cool. I think I've come to the end of my stash.
I think so.
Yeah. So that's it.
Coupons!
Oh my goodness. And there are so many.
Who wants to start?
I'll start. Ocean Creations UK, and Creations is spelled with a K, has a 10% off coupon with us until the end of April, so another week. And it's the words 2 Tangled and the number 10. 2 Tangled 10.
The Tangled Skeins CA, which is my shop. I've created a coupon for 15% off until May 13th, and the code is SPRINGFEVER15.
And our friend Tanya at Woolridge Designs has a coupon code for 15% off until the end of August. And the code is the words 2 Tangled and the number 15.
And then we have some coupons that are kind of long-term ones. They don't have an end date. Annie Pearl, P-U-R-L, of course. We're talking about knitting here. 15% off. It's actually until the end of this year, and it's Tangled 15.
Geektastic Fibers, 15% off until the end of the year as well, and it's the number 2 Tangled.
Frog Peak Creations has 10% off until the end of the year, and it is the number 2 T 2017.
Bags by Awesome Granny, 10% off. It's an ongoing one. It's the number 2 TS, number 1, number 0, so 2 TS 10.
And the last one is 6 Munchkin Stitching, 10% off ongoing, and it's all spelled out 2 Tangled 10.
That's not a tongue twister anymore.
No.
You'll notice I don't say it.
She probably giggles inside when she figures out, okay, I don't have to say it. Yeah. So,
Works for me.
It's a long one, but hopefully you had a beverage and you enjoyed yourself and took a pee break when we stopped.
We did.
Yeah.
Well, I did.
Well, it will all be put together, but yeah. Yeah, and so next weekend, Sue and I, anyway, are going to be in Toronto.
Yep.
For Frolic. So we're not totally sure that there's going to be a podcast next weekend.
We haven't decided yet.
But there could be footage.
Might be footage.
Next week.
There might be a solo. We'll figure it out. Want to go solo?
Actually, I was singing all by myself in my head.
That's
hey,
what
if Colin Firth is around.
That's what my husband says at lunch. He messages me, there's nobody here. All by myself.
Great.
I always
got
want to hear
that
that
scene from Shrek in my head.
You're welcome.
See, and I've got the Bridget Jones Diary in my mind.
Cool.
I've only seen that once and I didn't particularly enjoy it,
I've
so I
got-
didn't watch
oh,
it
really?
again.
I
I've
loved
got
it.
my husband singing, which is not enjoyable.
Yeah, well, there is that. I've heard them.
So you might see one person, you might see 2 people, you might see nobody next week. Stick around for whatever's going to happen. Anything interesting happening on the rest of the day or the weekend?
Going for brunch tomorrow.
Ooh, nice.
Well, I kind of knew why he said we were going for brunch is because there's a beer supply company who, if you place an order on a Thursday every second or third week, they come to Ottawa and they go to the clock tower. So he's like, do you want to go to the clock tower for brunch? I'm like, picking up an order, are you?
Hey, take it where you can get it.
Exactly.
Which clock tower?
On Bank.
Okay. He takes me out for brunch.
He was like, unless you want me to go alone. I'm like, yeah, no. So that's what's happening.
Excellent. What do you like to order when you go for brunch? Are you an Eggs Benny kind of girl?
Oh, so an Eggs Benny kind of girl. So an
Eggs Benedict is super yummy.
Yeah, I do get it a few times a year. Sean makes it, but usually it's on like Easter, Thanksgiving. Used to be only Christmas, and then he's kind of
Branched out a little bit.
just a little. But no. And
Excellent.
I sent out my fiber share package today. Yep, it was the last day. Got her done.
Good.
And I was shocked because I thought for sure it was going to be a 40-ish. And she's like, no, you got in just under that line. So it was a lot less than that. So kind of, I was happy about that.
Yeah, sending packages can be on
Yeah,
the pricey
so I let
side.
my partner know and I'm like, should be there next week. I hope you like it.
Cool.
Yep.
I will be doing hopefully not too much. My daughter, she seems to be asking to watch movies. She asked to watch Mamma Mia a couple of weeks ago. We just bought a bunch of ABBA songs on iTunes this morning. And now she wants to watch The Wizard of Oz.
Maybe she wants mommy time.
Yeah, and I think she's starting to get interested in different movies and people are talking about them.
Take it where you can get it.
Absolutely, it's great. So we'll probably be watching The Wizard of Oz at some point this weekend. That's about it, really.
We will have the house to ourselves. The boy and his best friend and their 2 best friends who are girls, they each have a best friend who's a girl, are going to a party. But I got can you possibly pick us up tomorrow? Like, early, late morning, early afternoon? Because we don't want to go if we don't have a ride home. Because it's in, Valdemo. So, he's being responsible.
Excellent. Responsible is good.
Nothing going on with me.
Some knitting time.
Sorry.
Finish the fade. Finish the fade.
How close are you, by the way, to finishing?
I'm in the middle of the lace on color 6.
And there's 7 colors. You are so close.
I know.
But you're not increasing anymore, right?
No, I haven't been increasing since color 4.
Okay. Ooh, very cool.
Mm-hmm. And now I just need to get some knitting mojo because it's getting really warm in my apartment.
Opening windows.
Spring and all, and I have the sun pretty much all day shining in my dining room window, so...
If you open windows at either end, or you don't leave your bedroom window?
I don't have an either end. I have no windows in the opposite wall.
No, I meant living room and bedroom.
Yeah, bedroom doors stay closed all the time because of the cats.
Right.
Because George likes to pee on things. Because George is a jerk.
George has an interesting character, that's
George
for sure.
is not a people cat. George doesn't like people at all. Hates men. Especially hates men. Tolerates me a little bit.
Is George the one that sits on the back of your chair?
No, that's the other one.
Okay.
And Lynx lately has started sitting on the arm of the chair and headbutting my armpit as hard as she can so that I will lift my arm and she can stick her face in my armpit. I don't know what is with this cat. She used to do that to Zach. So I think she's just...
You're her person now.
I'm becoming more and more her person, but you should have seen her when Zach came over the other day. She was all over Zach going nuts. It was insane. And kissing him and weird.
That's so cute.
She's never done that before, but lately she's been really demanding. I'll be sitting like this and she'll be coming over here and headbutting my boob, which is somewhat painful when you've got this pointy little cat head sticking into your boob.
Neo's become more vocal since Bella passed away last year. And he'll sit in the living room, and if I'm not on the couch, he'll be like, and I'll sit down and he'd be like, coming over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I find cats get more vocal with age often.
Well, he's also 14 years old.
Yeah, because Suko now, she sounds... Actually, my friend was over the other day, and Suko, who's probably turning 18 around now, because I don't know exactly when she was born, but sometime in April or May, Suko came up and was like... And my friend Joyce was like, okay, that's not the cat I used to know. I was like, no, she really sounds like an awful little old kitty cat, but she's still an absolute sweetheart, but just sounds...
And see, when Rob was here last weekend, my cats usually steer clear of Rob, both of them. Rob's not really a cat person. But Lynx was just pet me, and she was petting at him. And
because Zach's away.
No, but she's never done this before, even when Zach wasn't in the house, and now she's just everybody love me. Pet me, love me, I don't care. So it's getting a little demanding, but she's cute.
Yeah.
So we'll keep her.
Our little furry people. So I guess that's it then.
It is.
We are all talked out.
Humid. So we will be getting this up a little later than normal, as you will see when you watch it. And
don't expect any editing.
Nope.
Except for the 2 videos
beyond
that
the
have to
bathroom
go.
break.
Yeah. So happy knitting, everybody, and hopefully you'll see one of us next week.
We'll see.
Bye.
Take care, everybody.